What's going on, guys? Just going with Brent of Gas today, coming at you with something a little bit different, my friends. Last night, Xbox announced, or Microsoft rather, announced the Xbox One X. Well, they didn't announce it, but they revealed it. They announced it last year, but this year they finally revealed it, what it looks like, the specs, the whole shebang, man. The whole 9 yards, 10 yards, whatever, how many yards you want to go. It doesn't really matter because it's a beast. It is a powerhouse, but it's pricey, okay? So it's listed at $499.99 US. It's going to cost you 500 big ones if you live in the US. And if you live in Canada like me, it'll cost you 600 big ones because it's going to be $599.99, and depending where you're from, taxes could be pretty brutal. We have 13% tax where I'm from, so let that sink in for a second. But we're gonna talk about a little bit about it really briefly, okay? Because a lot of people are kind of I'm seeing a lot of mixed responses for the Xbox One X. I'm gonna go off the top and say, first of all, this thing is a powerhouse. It is the most powerful console ever. It's really impressive, honestly. And honestly, I really wish I could afford to get it. I'm not sure. I'm gonna get it eventually. I hope. But I'm not sure how soon I'll be able to get it personally. Because again, it's like $600 plus tax in Canada, and I don't know, Canadian economy. You know what I mean? But let me put it this way, okay? First of all, it's going to be able to play 4K games. Right now, the Xbox One S, you might be saying, well, it's 4K. Yes and no. You cannot play 4K games on the Xbox One S. It doesn't output games at 4K. It outputs streaming like movies. So if you're going to stream movies on like Netflix or whatever, it outputs that in 4K. It also has a 4K Blu-ray player. So if you're going to watch 4K movies, you know, like a disc, Blu-ray 4K disc, then it has that as well. But it does not output 4K games. So the Xbox One X is going to do that. It's going to output games in beautiful 4K, you know, stunning visuals. And the crazy thing is they have some kind of technology. I'm not 100% sure on, you know, the ins and outs of it. But basically some kind of crazy technology that if you only have a 1080p, you know, screen, it's going to make that look better too. So it's going to make your normal 1080p screen look better than it normally would with other, you know, devices. So again, it's, you know, Microsoft, I mean, they've been in the computing business forever. They know what they're doing. They have some crazy technology. So they have some kind of technology that's going to make it look a lot more crisp and better than a normal, you know, 1080p monitor, even if you're playing on 1080p. So that's a little bit of you know, an enticing kind of thing if you're you know, don't have a 4K monitor. But obviously you're gonna get the full experience if you do have a 4K monitor, and you know, that's something I'm personally, you know, trying to look into. They're a little bit pricey right now. It doesn't have to be a monitor; it could be a TV. I just mean a screen, right? And so it's stunning. It's going to be super crisp, but let's talk a little bit about the guts because it's pretty pricey, right? Now, I'm going to go through something really quick with you guys that might show you that it's actually priced pretty cheap, okay? First of all, the CPU is an 8-core CPU clocked in at 2.3 gigahertz. Not the fastest CPU, but you don't need it to be a super fast CPU. Most of the power that you're going to need is coming from the graphics card. You're not going to be doing a whole lot, you know, that's going to be heavy on the CPU as far as gaming goes. You'd want a faster CPU in a PC if you're doing stuff like video editing, like I am. Otherwise, I mean, that's sufficient in a gaming console. The graphics card is the main thing I want to talk about. So it has a 6 teraflop GPU clocked in at 1,172 megahertz with 4 compute units. The memory is 12 gigabytes of GDDR5 RAM clocked in at 6.8 gigahertz with 326 gigabytes of bandwidth. Just to put this into perspective for you, you have, for a PC, you have the GTX Titan X, okay, which ironically is, you know, Xbox One X, GTX Titan X, no, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, that's probably the most similar GPU that I could find. If you guys have a more comparable GPU, let me know. The Titan X, I believe, is clocked in at like 1,075 megahertz or something. It's like 100 megahertz slower than the GPU in the Xbox One X, okay? 100 megahertz can make a little bit of a difference. Also worth noting, both are 12 gigabytes of GDDR5 RAM. Now, if you were to buy a GTX Titan X for your PC, Canadian price, it'll cost you anywhere between like $1,500 to $2,000, give or take. So let's say like $1,000 US, $1,000 just for the GPU alone. Then you got the storage in the Xbox One X, which is 1 terabyte. It has, you know, obviously standard stuff like HDMI in and out and all that, you know, USB 3.0, stuff like that, an Ethernet cable, you know, IR receiver blaster, things like that. 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray drive, which are not super cheap either. You know, and you got a controller and all this, you know, other stuff. So think about that. You're getting all of that for about, you know, $500 US, whereas if you're going to get an equivalent GPU or close to an equivalent GPU that's in this console for your PC, the GPU alone would cost you like double the price of what the Xbox One X cost you. So you're getting a pretty insane bang for your buck for this price. Now, obviously, it is a premium console. It's not going to be super cheap. It's you know, it's expensive. We're not gonna sugarcoat it. It's still expensive, but again, this is meant for people who really want, you know, the most ultimate, you know, gaming experience in console. It's kind of like a PC. You can build a pretty cheap PC, gaming PC for like $500, but don't expect to play games on ultra settings. But then you're gonna, you know, if you spend like a couple $1,000, then you know you could play the most ultra high settings ever known to mankind. So it's just one of those things. All these games are going to work on both Xbox One and Xbox One X. They work on all the Xbox One families, but it's going to look way better on Xbox One X. So it's kind of like the difference between having like, you know, like medium or high settings and then like ultra settings. It's going to make a nice big difference. So 1080p, 4K Ultra HD gaming. So huge difference. That's kind of why it costs so much money. And so I just kind of wanted to put that out there. Does everyone have $500 to blow on a console? No. But again, that's why they have just the normal Xbox One S for those people who, you know, who can't afford that premium price, if you will. So again, if you want the super high quality gaming, you know, in a console, you're going to pay a little bit more for it, obviously, just the same as if you were to play it in PC. But think about it. Everything that's in this console, you're getting a really good deal. That GPU alone, you're getting one heck of a deal, man. It would cost you, like I said, double the price if you were to get that kind of GPU for your PC, which is insane. So, you know, is it expensive? Yes. Is it worth it? Yes. So that's my thoughts on that. So I just kind of wanted to quickly talk about that because, like I said, there was kind of a lot of discussion about that going on the interwebs. But let me know what you guys think about it in the comments section below. Do you guys think it's worth it or not? Like I said, if you guys just want a normal, you know, 1080p gaming experience, get the Xbox One S. But if you want, you know, super high quality settings, like again, like a PC, get the Xbox One X. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed the video, smash the like button, subscribe to the comment channel, awesome stuff. I'll catch you guys in the next one like always. Until then, game on.